My name is Manjeet Kaur.
My name is Gurnaam Singh. Welcome to the One Show. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. A very warm welcome to all our viewers on Akaal Channel across the world. 107 countries being watched on Sky 760, but also on Sling Box in USA, across the whole of North America, Australia, India, and Akaal Channel now is reaching so many parts. We're on Facebook Live and YouTube as well, and in fact at the moment Akaal Channel is simultaneously broadcasting from 4 different parts of the world, various programs. So
that's fantastic.
I think this is a great achievement for a channel that is a charitable cause. Today we're going to be talking about heritage and Sikh heritage, and I was thinking about how we introduce our program, and I came across a quote from the African American freedom fighter Malcolm X when he said, history is a people's memory, and without a memory man is demoted to the level of lower animals. When you have no knowledge of your history, you're just an animal. ਇਸ ਕੋਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਲਕਮ ਐਕਸ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਫਰੀਕਨ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ 'ਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੜਾਈਆਂ ਲੜੀਆਂ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮਨਜੀਤ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਫਰੀਕਾ ਤੋਂ ਵੈਸਟ ਅਫਰੀਕਨ ਸਲੇਵ ਟ੍ਰੇਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਗਾਏ ਸੀਗੇ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਲਚਰ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਈਡੈਂਟਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ ਵੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਦੇ ਗਏ ਦ ਸਲੇਵ ਓਨਰਸ ਨੇਮ ਦਮ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਧਰਮ ਵੀ ਬਦਲਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਉਹ 200 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ, ਆਪਣੀ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ, ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਗੇਸੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਜਾਗਰਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਔਰ ਇਸ ਕੋਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਲਕਮ ਐਕਸ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੌਮ, ਆਪਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੌਮ ਹੋਵੇ, ਪੀਪਲ ਹੋਵੇ, ਜੇ ਉਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਭੁਲਾ ਲੈਣ, ਫਿਰ ਇੱਕ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਜਾਨਵਰ ਦਾ ਜੀਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ। ਦੇ ਜਸਟ ਟਰਨ ਟੂ ਲੋਅਰ ਐਨੀਮਲਸ, ਫਿਰ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ, ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਦਿਸ ਵੀਕ ਰੈਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟਸ ਦ ਬਿਗਿਨਿੰਗ ਆਫ ਦ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਐਂਡ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਮੰਥ। ਸੋ ਆਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਮਹੀਨਾ ਹੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ। ਔਰ ਬੜੀ ਅਫਸੋਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇਸੇ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਵਿੱਚ in this very month we saw these shocking images of the destruction of a 200-year-old arch, the Darshan at Tarn Gurdwara Sahib, by Baba Jagtal Singh from the Kaur Seva organisation. And this sent shockwaves across the global Sikh diaspora. In some senses, because we've got social media, we could see this, and there's been so much destruction over the last 50 years that we don't know about it. But the
social media, there's more awareness.
Well, absolutely, and as a result, then local activists were able to halt the sacrilege. See, this Darshan Deori is a very historic building. It was built during the Akaal Heritage in the 19th century by Governor Singh, who was the grandson of Governor. His grandson was Maharaja Tanjit Singh, I think his name was, of Governor Singh. So, but the tragedy is that the Kaur Seva Babas have been busy destroying Sikh heritage for many years, and they offer, feeble excuses. And one of the ones that I came across was, they said, well, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਢਾਇਆ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਸੀਗੀ ਜੋ ਉਹ ਕਮਜ਼ੋਰ ਸੀਗੀ, that it was unsafe and not fit for purpose. So, if we destroyed things because they're unsafe and not fit for purpose,
destroy your own
well,
history.
we would destroy the whole history of humanity.
There will be nothing left.
Yeah. Now, often these original buildings, or the other excuse they made was that they said that, well, we're going to rebuild this in exactly the same form, and they were showing drawings.
Modern building.
Well, this is the interesting thing, because often original buildings made from authentic materials are replaced by stereotypical marble-clad structures. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਸੰਗਮਰਮਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਪਾਸੇ ਲਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, completely out of context. I mean, a good example, ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਿਆਂ ਦੀ, ਛੋਟੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਫਤਿਹਗੜ੍ਹ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੁਣਿਆ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਕੰਧ, ਉਹ ਮੋਗਲੀ ਇੱਟ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਛੋਟੀ ਛੋਟੀ ਇੱਟ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮੋਗਲੀ ਇੱਟ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ।
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹ ਅੱਜਕੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ। ਨਹੀਂ,
ਚਲੋ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਤਾਂ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਆਥੈਂਟਿਸਿਟੀ ਸੀ ਮਨਜੀਤ, that was the original. ਪਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਫਤਿਹਗੜ੍ਹ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਮਲਮਲ ਸੰਗਮਰਮਰ ਦੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਬਣਾਤੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਹਿਸਟੋਰੀਕਲ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮਕਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸ਼ੋਅ 'ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ, ਤੇ ਜੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੀਜ਼ਰਵ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ, ਔਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਮਨਜੀਤ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ, ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਕਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਨ ਸਾਈਡਡ ਆ ਸਾਡੀ ਹਿਸਟੋਰੀਕਲ ਰੈਕੋਰਡ, ਆਪਾਂ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਰੈਕੋਰਡ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਘੱਟ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ। ਅੱਜ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ contribution history ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. So I think we'll introduce our guests and
Yes,
get on with
let's
the show.
do it,
So if I start on my right hand side, one of our regulars, Gurinder Singh Mann. Gurinder is the director of the Sikh Museum Initiative, and he's published widely. He holds an MA in South Asian religions from De Montfort University, and he was a co-author of 2 books on Guru Gobind Singh's writings, published by Oxford University Press, and along with others, Gurinder also has been actively involved in the International Sikh Research Conference at University of Warwick, and many other things. He's regularly on the media. So Gurinder, welcome to the show. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. If I turn to my left, we've got first of all on the far left, first time on our show, Kiran Bhogal. Kiran's a PhD student at the Department of Anthropology at London School of Economics, and Kiran's research is focusing on the experience of Sikhs living in the UK, particularly in the West Midlands, and how Sikhs perform their faith in the public sphere. But she's also involved in many other projects, voluntary work, Sikh Education Council, and she published a piece on Maharani Jind Kaur, who is an amazing figure. Yeah. So Kiran, welcome to the show. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. And last but not least, we've got Taranjit Singh. Taranjit's been doing some groundbreaking work, and we will be showing you some of his work. He's been working using 3D technologies to preserve, not only to preserve Manjit, to actually to resurrect heritage. And I think that's the amazing thing about 3D.
That's amazing.
Because you can usually, what you can do is you can take one bit of maybe an old temple or building structure, and then you can actually create 3D images out of that.
That is brilliant.
But not only is he doing stuff on the screen where you can enter the 3D, he's actually also using new technology in printing, in 3D printing, and he's made various artifacts.
I'm looking forward for that.
So we're going to have a very packed program today. So ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਣਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ if your children are
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ
up in their bedrooms on PlayStations, drag them down.
Please come down in your front room, in your lounge.
That's it, just for the next hour, because this program really hopefully will be about their future.
Very interesting about your history. Gurinder, I'm going to start off with you. So when you saw the video of the destruction, the Tarn Gurdwara, how did you feel?
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. The first thoughts I had was I was sickened. I was really displeased to actually see another episode. When I say another, this has been going on for decades now, and it was very disheartening.
So when you're saying decades, it's not just started last week. It was going on for what? How long?
The idea of the Gar Seva Babas actually taking on this voluntary work, so to speak, in terms of actually kind of being the kind of negotiators of actually undertaking this work has been going on for decades, basically. Sadhe ityas de vich there is the concept of Gar Seva. We understand that. We understand that the whole community has to get involved, and by using their hands, they're doing gamai, they're doing good things. However, what's happened is it's turned into almost like a business now, where Gar Seva we'll use the word enthusiasts are now in league with people who are like just trying to destroy buildings willy-nilly. And unfortunately, last Saturday, what happened was that
and there's a picture, you can see the picture of the destruction as well on the screen.
In the middle of the night, some of these Gar Seva Babe and other people, caretakers of the Tarn Sahib Gurdwara, they actually started knocking down the domes of the Gurdwara. But let's just talk about what this building actually is. So we're talking about the Darshan Deori. The Darshan Deori is the gateway into the main Darbar Sahib at Tarn Sahib Gurdwara. So Tarn Sahib is a very, very holy place for the Sikhs, and was kind of devised, created by Guru Arjan Dev Maharaj. However, it was still developed over time by the Sikh missiles as well, and you kind of.
So it's a connection with Nihal Singh, wasn't it? Yeah.
And later on,
grandson of Jinda.
No. So what happened was that during the Ranjit Singh period, obviously Maharaja Ranjit Singh had realised that there needs to be a beautification project, so therefore he had gone round and actually started gilding gold around buildings, etc. as well. Now Tarn Sahib Gurdwara, Nihal Singh, who was the grandson of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, he played a pivotal part, and that's when the Sarovar was made as well at that location. continued with that was this other beautification that started taking place. But specifically, the Darshan Deori actually contains very, very nice, beautiful frescoes in there. So on that Saturday, what actually took place was the Kar Seva Babbe started knocking down the domes of the Darshan Deori. But this wasn't nothing new, because 1 year before, in September 2018, ohi kam ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ. So they were given the license by the SGPC.
So this has been going on for a whole year, and no one knew about it.
Yeah. So basically, last year in September 2018, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ try ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦਿਓਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਟਾਣੇ ਨੂੰ. But they were stopped by the Sangat then. Okay.
Right.
So this Saturday, the Saturday just gone, what happened was, fair try kan la paise ge.
Acha.
Then as they started taking down the first two and maybe the third dome, fair sangat aa gaye se, congregation sari aa gaye se, and they had to stop it, and they did actually stop it from further kind of demolition. So luckily again, second time round, you know, Rab ne jiddan sanu has come down and actually kind of helped our cause by, you know, the sangat coming out in droves basically.
Gurinder, if I could just come in there, because obviously the Babas aren't here to put their argument, but they did issue a press statement, and the SGPC ek duje de side lag jande I mean, basically what's happened there, that they're saying the SGPC,
it's like a blame game,
and they're showing this letter that they gave us this clearance to do that. As SGPC is saying, actually there was a roke like that because Sangats had come in, but they still ignored the second injunction. But this is what the Baba Jagtar Singh or Baba Jeevan Singh, जो कि गोइंदवाल रोड तरन ताਰਨ उस इलाके ते उन्हां दा डेरा हैगा ते ਉਹ ਅਸੇ ਪਰਸੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਨੋਟ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਦੇਸ਼ ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ ਦੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤਰਨ ਤਾਰਨ ਦੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਨੀ ਡਿਓਰੀ ਦੀ ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਸ਼੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਕ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਨੇ ਮਿਤੀ 12/7/2018 ਨੂੰ ਔਰ ਰਸੀਦ ਨੰਬਰ ਮਤਾ ਨੰਬਰ 550 ਦੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਆਰੰਭ ਕਰਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਜੋ ਡੇਰਾ ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਬਾਬਾ ਜਗਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਰੰਭ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਸੀਗੀ। ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਰੋਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਅਸੀਂ ਡੇਰਾ ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਦੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਅਤੇ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮਾਫੀ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅੱਗੋਂ ਤੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਪੁਰਾਤਨ ਇਮਾਰਤ ਦੀ ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਆਰੰਭ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਸੰਪਰਦਾਵਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸਲਾਹ ਮਸ਼ਵਰਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੀ ਆਰੰਭ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਵੇਗੀ। ਤਰਨ ਤਾਰਨ ਇੱਕ ਸਦੀ ਤੋਂ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖ ਬਾਬਾ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਚਲਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਅਨੇਕਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਧਾਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਵਾਈ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਡੇਰਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਤਰਨ ਤਾਰਨ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਸੰਚਾਲਕ ਬਾਬਾ ਜਗਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਬਾਬਾ ਮਹਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਅਤੇ ਸਮੂਹ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਪੰਥ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਰਪਿਤ ਹਨ ਅਤੇ ਸਮਰਪਿਤ ਰਹਿਣਗੇ। So
but Gurnam Singh ji, that doesn't change when they apologize. What they've destroyed, your history doesn't change, does it?
Well, that's true, and maybe we can bring Kiran as well onto this one. I mean, you know, we're getting...
Kiran, what was your first reaction when you actually seen this on the where did you see it first of all? Was it on Facebook? Was it on TV?
Yeah, it was on social media, and it was shared in various groups that I'm part of, and I think...
So what was your reaction? How did you feel?
I think
did you feel sad? Did you feel
I was quite
angry?
sad and shocked, but I also sort of felt like it was just a lack of understanding. We've got this notion that we believe that kind of new is better. So I don't feel like it was necessarily malicious. You know, it wasn't that there was we were trying to destroy our heritage. It's just that we've got this idea that something new and
so it's a lack of knowledge of
exactly, and I think
education.
It's
just, so they ain't got enough education
to. Let me maybe just challenge that one. I'll bring you in as well. You know, some people say that this Car Seva Babas operate like a kind of a mafia. That what they do is they go around taking money. They get huge amounts of money. You know, they'll come to the UK and they'll go to the gurdwaras, and people will empty their pockets. They'll give the gold. Because ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੁਰਾਤਨ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਦੀ ਮੁਰੰਮਤ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ। So they make a lot of money, and there's some suggestion that some of the building work is shoddy as well. So, you know, do you think it's just that misguided? Do you think there might be ulterior motive there?
I don't think all of it is malicious. Obviously you're going to have some bad actors, but there's a lot of people who have done a lot of good restoration work as well. But I think if you look at it, it just comes down to mentality, because if you look at most Punjabi people, what do they do when they go to India? Even their ancestral homes, they'll go to their village, they'll knock down their ancestral home, and then they'll build a 3-story koti.
Because they don't think nothing of it really, in that sense.
And I think it is
as a
like
historical building.
definitely, well, like Benji said, it's just about having that understanding of what is heritage and what should be preserving, and how to do it in a way that we don't destroy heritage, but we kind of protect it.
I mean, it's not as if, I mean, in the post-war period in this country, in the name of modernity and modern architecture, we had this country's heritage destroyed as well. Some of our city centres with the old Victorian buildings were, razed to the ground, and afterwards, is it just simply that these people have no concept of heritage, or is there some ulterior motives, or a bit of both?
Well, the thing is, two things are at play here, because पहली चीज हैगी है जे ए आप जितना कहंदे आप वेकार सेवा, we're doing a good job, they must also be seeing the other things which are taking place by heritage experts. So when actual restoration takes place of beautiful buildings in the Punjab, which they do, are they not noticing that there is a proper way of doing things as well? So this is the first factor which comes into play.
I mean, this building was 250.
Well, it was over 200 years old.
200 years old, yeah.
But let me just come back to you, because...
And you had a few cracks. I mean, couldn't they repair them?
But this is the key point, you see, because obviously something does not make sense here.
Well, the people on the ground, because I've seen the video when they went on the ground and they showed the building, and they showed actually a very solid Deori, and the only holes were where they'd actually pulled down the minarets.
Absolutely. And I've got photographs of the Darshan Deori beforehand in terms of what the frescoes look like as well. I just want to touch upon something really, because when the original kind of artwork was being done, it's a very, very scientific process, and that's what I'm going to just read off from here. The style, obviously, of the bricks is Nanakshay, which are very brane bricks that they were using, and they also, I'm just going to combine all the different Sikh Heritage as well, because we've got Harmandir Sahib, Akaal Channel Tarn Sahib, which just mentioned.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask you one question. It's about the brick. Is there any difference to nowadays
style
bricks,
of the bricks were totally
the
different.
quality of it, or what's the difference?
Yes, there's a difference between the Nanakshay style of bricks, which were compared to now.
That's what I thought.
It was a different way of actually designing the bricks, basically. But added to that, there's a different style of work as well. So I'm just going to mention a couple of these bits of it. It's very, very important. The style of the stones which are sometimes put in the work is called Jaratkari. So that's the one style of actually how our heritage is there. One's called Mora Kashi, and that's to talk about frescoes and the murals which were actually on our buildings or wall paintings. Another thing is called Gachwork, so including the glass, limestone as well. So this is very, very intricate.
That's a carving,
absolutely. And we've got Takri work as well, Takri work, pieces of glass again, and we've got gold embossing. So all these different styles of heritage preservation has been taking place for like generations. And what we're seeing is that all this is not being kind of understood, not just by the Kaur Babbe, but also the general public as well. It's very, very intricate work, very, very
what
detailed.
In essence is, Gurinder, क्योंकि आप खुद expert या इस काम दे विच heritage विच, ਉਹ जो ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਦੇ ਬਾਬੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪੁਰਾਣੀ ਇੱਟਾਂ ਮੀਨਾਕਾਰੀ ਕੱਚ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੋਰ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਆਰਟਿਸਟਿਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਕ੍ਰਾਫਟ ਉਹ ਢਾ ਕੇ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਸੰਗਮਾਰ ਲਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਚਿੱਟਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਦੂਰੋਂ, and so they're really wiping the history away.
They're wiping the history out.
Isn't there anyone to guide them? Isn't there a law for it?
There's actual heritage organisations in Punjab which actually do some great work as well. And unfortunately, sometimes the SGPC does not contact them, or because their process is long, it takes a long time to do. They just want to get it repaired.
They just want to get it done. They can't wait for that long.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
So this is the issues we're facing.
One more thing. I mean, you're a scholar of the Ranjit Singh period, and one thing that we know Ranjit Singh by is his patronage to gurdwaras, and the Bar Sahib, for example, he got the gold inlays into there. Couldn't it be argued that he himself was destroying a heritage by turning these small, monuments into these huge complexes?
You could argue that.
You could argue that. But where does it kind of end and begin?
But what you got to realise is, ਜਦੋਂ Maharaja Ranjit Singh took over Lahore, it was the first time that the Sikhs had any kind of prosperity, stability. So for the Khalsa at that particular time, it was also actually showing the rest of India, Pakistan, that we have a qawm, we have a nation. So these kind of things all played into those sentiments. I understand, because Hari Mandir means temple of God. But Golden Temple means temple of gold. Okay, they're two different things. But at that time, I think what happened was, because the Maharaja realized that we have to show our pomp and beauty as well, these are the kind of lines we have to
Okay, let me just bring, we're going to move on from this topic to the women's involvement in Sikh history as well. But before that, Manji, I just want to explore this a bit more. Given, you know, if you go to Amritsar, it feels like a theme park. I know that people might feel that I'm overstating the case. They've actually got this new street, the Heritage Street, and that means there are lots and lots of people visiting the place. And that in itself creates its own kind of tensions, doesn't it, and contradictions. How do you kind of balance this thing about openness and about newness with, you know, serenity and action?
I think that's really interesting, and it was what I was thinking of actually whilst you asked Gurinder that question, is that actually by Maharaja Ranjit Singh, you know, emblazoning the whole of Harmandir Sahib with it, exactly, and it made Harmandir Sahib more than just a place of worship for Sikhs, which it's not actually. You know, it's Harmandir Sahib isn't necessarily any more holy. It's just the central political seat and spiritual seat for us as Sikhs. It represents a lot more than just, say, for example, the Vatican. You know, it has status for us as a community, and I think when you go there and you visit it, you're supposed to kind of be imbued with that heritage. I went to Hazur Sahib last year, and I kind of really got that experience and really felt like the fairy tales I'd been told as a child came to life. And I think that is kind of where the tension lies when we start over marketing this. So you know, when Harmandir Sahib is now on these like top 100 tourist attractions to visit.
Well, if you go onto YouTube, you find all these, you know, selfies and making their own videos and a lot of people who have weddings, they go for their kind of honeymoon there now, don't they?
Exactly, and I think that's the biggest issue, is just remembering what that site actually represents. And it's important that when we do market that to people, that is what we are marketing. We're marketing the importance of Sikhi and not the importance of that physical location. The architecture is important, but it's what that architecture represents.
Taran, I just want to come to you, and then we're going to move on to the next topic, on this theme. As we say, you know, in a sense, it brings that question back, is, you know, what is heritage and what's authentic and not authentic? If we look at the Harmandir Sahib, you know, in some senses, the kind of demolishing and construction has been taking place every so often. We had the Bungays, for example. I mean, the British came and they were building churches there. And they got wiped away. We had the Bungays of the Nihang Dals there. They were wiped away. So it's almost as if there's a kind of, each kind of political group that comes into power wipes away the kind of heritage of the past and claims it for themselves. Is this a tragedy, or is this just how things are? Is this how heritage is?
I think I think heritage is kind of changing. You know, places are going to change, and I think
it's about politics as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I think at this moment in time, whatever Maharaja Ranjit Singh did, that is a part of our history as well. Any changes that were made, that the British made, as long as we're aware of them and we learn from them, and we don't make the same mistakes, I think that's the most important thing, really.
So मैं दर्शकों ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਟੱਚ ਕਰਨਾ, ਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਫੋਨ ਕਾਲਸ ਵੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਦੇਰ ਲਈ ਖੋਲੂਗੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਸੁਝਾਅ ਦੇਣਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਹਾਂਜੀ
Kiran, I'm going to come to you. Who are the key female figures in the history?
Well, there's absolutely loads, and I think if you ask most people, they'll know of kind of the standard ones. They'll know of my Baghel, they know of Mata Gudri, but they tend not to have heard about the ones that I like to call the political figures or the freedom fighters. So,
and who are them?
For me, my top three, as if you can say that, but my top three, they start with Rani Sadakaur, who was Maharaja Ranjit Singh's first mother-in-law. So the mother of his first wife.
She's basically the one that brought the whole kind of missiles together into this one cohesive force, which is, I mean, I think Theresa May could do with Sadakaur today.
Absolutely, Yeah, I think the most important and the most standout part of Rani Sudhakar is that without her, Maharaja Ranjit Singh wouldn't have been able to capture Lahore. And so she was the one that
she was
actually
a deal maker,
started
wasn't
that.
she?
Exactly, and she was very clever and tactical, and she had that kind of political know-how, but she was also very behind the scenes, which is why I think a lot of us don't know about her. And then my sort of go-to, my role model in everything that I do is Maharani Jind Kaur, as you mentioned at the start.
Oh, wow.
And she was Maharaja Dalip Singh's mother and the youngest wife of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and in fact the only wife he didn't marry as a political alliance. So, you know, there must have been something about her. She must have had some character there. And she was the one that kind of ensured that Sikhi continued. So she was really heavily involved in the Anglo-Sikh wars and ensured that kind of Sikhi didn't die when Maharaja Ranjit Singh did.
Just want to come to you again. Born and bred in this country, modern girl like yourself. How did you get interested in Sikh history?
Well, I can't take any credit for it at all. I was raised by some really special people from our hometown of Yorkshire.
Oh, wow.
So my parents have a lot to do with it, and my grandparents as well. Like, have conversations with my nanny all the time, and she tells me about history that she used to read when she was younger. And my dad really likes playing devil's advocate, so he likes to challenge me. And in fact, I decided to write a thesis, and I said to him, "Who shall I write about? What shall I write about? Don't want to do the standard." And he said, "Have you heard of Maharani Jind Kaur?" I was like, "No, who's that?" And I went away and did some research.
Very
and
interesting,
actually, you know, she lit that fire within me.
How you got inspired.
Well, we should do a special show just on that one. But I just want to, Gurinder, come back to you. We've only got 2 minutes. Maharani Sophia Dalip Kaur Singh. I mean, again, another lost, forgotten figure, even by Western feminists, actually. She's been erased when there was the suffragette film. She was erased from that, which is tragic and crime. But I know that you did an exhibition on that. What was the response to that?
Well, it wasn't an exhibition as such. We'd taken part in a wider exhibition on the suffragette movement, but we actually brought into play the role of Sophia Dalip Singh. And the amount of feedback we got was absolutely fantastic, because people were saying, well, you know, English people, British people were saying, well, we didn't know about Sophia Dalip Singh, so why don't we know about it? So we were getting that kind of feedback. We did a panel discussion, which Kiran was part of as well. And in order to bring these figures out, we have to do these kind of events as well. So that's why we did the panel discussion.
But she's a great role model, isn't she, for maybe a particular kind of Western educated, you know, professional Sikh women.
Absolutely, because what she's done, or what she did was, she was born in this country. She's had Sikh royalty blood connection, so her father was Dalip Singh.
And she was an activist in the Sikh tradition.
Absolutely. So when she went on her journeys to Punjab, she saw what was going on there. So when she came back, she realised she needed a cause to actually put herself onto, because look, she was a royal. She did not need to get involved in the suffragette movement. Just to explain for the Sangat out there, suffragette movement is the rights for women. So in this country, around about just prior to 1910, the women started rising up basically.
I'm going to have to stop you there, Gurinder, because we're going to go for the break. So lots of things to talk about. Asi break to baad judoge kite jana nahi hega. Fateh bulao. Waheguru ji ka khalsa. Waheguru ji ki fateh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਆਪ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੇਵਕ ਪਰਮਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਜੋ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਖਾਲਸੇ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਦਿਵਸ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਮਨਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਪਰਾਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਦਿਵਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ 11 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਸਵੇਰੇ 4 ਵਜੇ ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਆਰੰਭ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਭੋਗ 13 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਠੀਕ 11 ਵਜੇ ਪਾਏ ਜਾਣੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਇਸ ਸਮਾਗਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਸਫਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਜੀ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੜਾ ਸੁਭਾਗਾ ਅਵਸਰ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ। ਇਸ ਅਵਸਰ ਦਾ ਲਾਹਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰਦਿਆਂ ਹੋਇਆਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਮਾਗਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਚੱਲਣੇ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ, ਔਰ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰੀ ਹੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਥੱਲੇ ਰੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਰਹਿਮਤ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਜੋ ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਹੀ ਪਾਠੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਹਿਬਾਨ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਉਹ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਗੇ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਵੀ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਚੱਲੇਗੀ। ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਹਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਔਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਮਾਗਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀਆਂ ਭਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਨੂੰ ਸਫਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
We are hosting for you a program about a movie called The Motherhood. This movie is basically based around Mata Sahib Kaur Ji's Jeevan. And we are looking to get this movie out and introduce it to all the children around the world about who our mother is.
ਖਾਲਸੇ ਦੀ ਮਾਤਾ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਮਾਤਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੌਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਉੱਤੇ ਆਧਾਰਿਤ ਐਨੀਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਫਿਲਮ ਮਦਰਹੁੱਡ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਉੱਤੇ ਹਰ ਐਤਵਾਰ ਸ਼ਾਮ 7 ਵਜੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਰੇਗਾ, ਜਿਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਫਿਲਮ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਨਾਲ ਅਪਡੇਟ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ। ਸੋ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਨਾ ਭੁੱਲਣਾ ਜੀ, ਹਰ ਐਤਵਾਰ ਸ਼ਾਮ 7 ਵਜੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਤੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਉੱਤੇ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਾਜਣਾ ਦਿਵਸ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਮੂਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਖ ਲੱਖ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਾਂ। ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਾਜਣਾ ਦਿਵਸ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਨਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋਏ 11 ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਨੂੰ ਧੁਰਕੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਪਾਵਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਿਖੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਰੰਭ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਔਰ 13 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਭੋਗ ਪਾਏ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਸੋ ਸਮੂਹ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਾਵਨ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਲਾਈਵ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਪਾਠ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਮਾਣਨਾ ਔਰ ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਔਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੀਆਂ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰਨਾ। ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਾਸ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਨੇਮਰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵਹਿਮਾਂ ਭਰਮਾਂ ਪਖੰਡਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਰਹਿਤ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਸਾਬਤ ਸੂਰਤ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਖੰਡੇ ਬਾਟੇ ਦਾ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕ ਕੇ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੇ ਲੜ ਲੱਗ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਾਜਣਾ ਦਿਵਸ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਨਾਈਏ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀਆਂ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰੀਏ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਦੇ 550ਵੇਂ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਪੁਰਬ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਰਪਿਤ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੀ ਭਰਪੂਰ ਮੰਗ ਉਤੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਉਚਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਲੜੀਵਾਰ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਸੰਥਿਆ। ਸੋਮਵਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁੱਕਰਵਾਰ ਤੱਕ ਸਵੇਰੇ 10 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ 10:30 ਵਜੇ ਤੱਕ, ਮੁੜ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰਣ ਸ਼ਾਮ 5 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ 5:30 ਵਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਸਿਰਫ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਉੱਤੇ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਸੰਥਿਆ ਦੇ ਮੱਧ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਨਨਕਾਣਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਮੁਕੱਦਸ ਧਰਤੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਵੇਗੀ। ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਸੰਥਿਆ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਘਰ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਕਰੋ ਅਤੇ ਨਵੰਬਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਪੁਰਬ ਉੱਤੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਨਨਕਾਣਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾਮ ਲਿਖਵਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰੋ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਮੂਹ ਨਾਨਕ ਲੇਵਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਨਮਰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਵਿਖੇ 11 ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਨੂੰ ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਆਰੰਭ ਹੋਣਗੇ, 13 ਨੂੰ ਭੋਗ ਪਾਏ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਔਰ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਦਿਹਾੜੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਰਪਿਤ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ ਔਰ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੀਵਾਨ ਵੀ ਸਜਣਗੇ ਔਰ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੋਮ ਆ ਕੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਜੀ। ਔਰ ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਦਿਹਾੜੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸਿਕ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ 'ਚ ਵਿਦਵਾਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਜੀ। ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਲਤਾ ਕਰਨੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਖਾਲਸਾ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਦਿਵਸ ਜੋ ਕਿ 11 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 13 ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੀ ਬਰਮਿੰਘਮ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰਣ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇਗਾ। ਸੋ 3 ਦਿਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇਖਣਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਠ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਾਠ ਔਰ 13 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਭੋਗ ਪੈਣਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਬਰਮਿੰਘਮ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਖੁੱਲਾ ਸੱਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰੋ, ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੋ ਜੀ।
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ, ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੋ, ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੋ, ਰੌਲ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਦਿਓ, ਲੰਗਰ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਦਿਓ ਤਾਂ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਪਾਓ ਤਾਂ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਦਦ ਕਰੋ।
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ, ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ 11 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 13 ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਲਾਈਵ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਦਿਵਸ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰਣ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਅਖੰਡ ਪਾਠ ਸਾਰੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਵਨ ਸ਼ੋ ਟੁਡੇ, ਵੈਰੀ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਵਨ ਸ਼ੋ ਵੇਅਰ ਵੀ ਟਾਕਿੰਗ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਸਿੱਖ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ, ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ, ਸਾਡਾ ਵਿਰਸਾ ਜੋ ਹੈਗਾ। ਜਿਸ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਰਨ ਤਾਰਨ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਦਰਸ਼ਨੀ ਦਿਉਰੀ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਾਲ ਸੇਵਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਉੱਥੇ ਕਮਾਲ ਸੇਵਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਸੀਗੀ ਥੋੜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਹੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਭਰ ਦੇ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੜੇ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਬਲੁੰਦਰੇ ਗਏ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਮਨਜੀਤ ਇੱਕ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟ ਚੰਗਾ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸੇਵਾ ਬਾਬਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਲਖੀਰ ਬਾਤ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸੋ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਚਲੋ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਸਲਾਹ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਇਮਾਰਤਾਂ ਪੁਰਾਣੀਆਂ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਹੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਮਾੜੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਵੈਂਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਵੈਂਟਰੀ ਕੈਥੀਡਰਲ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਵਰਲਡ ਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿਟਲਰ ਨੇ ਬੰਬ ਸਿੱਟੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਯਾਦ ਕਰ ਉਦਾਂ ਰਹਿਣ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਗੁਰਿੰਦਰ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਕਾਲ ਤਖਤ 84 ਜੋ ਉਦੋਂ ਢਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਚਲੋ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੀਜ਼ਰਵ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਕਾਲ ਤਖਤ ਹੋਰ
ਮੈਮਰੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਸੀ ਸਾਡੀ
ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਢਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ when it all happened basically ਠੀਕ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਾਬਾ ਸੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਣਾਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਫਿਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੋਰ ਟਾਤਾ ਸੋ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ
ਇਹ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨੀਆਂ ਜੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਹੋਣੀ ਸੀ
ਉਹ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਮਿਟਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਮਿਸਟੇਕ ਆਫਟਰ ਮਿਸਟੇਕ ਹੋਈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਲੁੱਕ ਫੋਰਵਰਡ ਨਾਓ
ਸੋ ਇਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਐਨ ਈਜ਼ੀ ਥਿੰਗ ਗੱਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਸੌਖਾ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਯੂਕੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ ਕਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਆ ਲਿਸਟਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਕਈ ਕੁਛ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਟਸ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਡੈਲੀਕੇਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਸੰਸਥਾ
ਬਣਾਉਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ
ਕਮੇਟੀ ਬਣਾਉਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਿੰਦਰ ਜਿੱਥੇ world level ਦੇ scholars ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ art historians ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ we should really be informed before we do these things
ਇਹ 100% ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਸਹੀ ਆ because basically what's happened now is that ਜੋ SGPC ਨੇ ਕਹਿ ਦੇਣਾ ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਦਾ problem ਆ ਕਾਰ ਸੇਵਾ ਨੇ ਕਹਿ ਦੇਣਾ
blame ਲਾਈ ਜਾਣਾ
we haven't got time for blame we have to look at moving forward
get on with it
they need to get the main organisations involved, heritage organisations involved, heritage practitioners have to be at the forefront. This come is a professional come. ठीक है, a professional come so you need to get professional people in to sort out these issues.
And even ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਵੇਂ monuments ਬਣਾਉਣੇ ਵੀ ਆ we have to look at for example local materials ਜਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਮਟੀਰੀਅਲ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ then we're disrupting the whole kind of tradition itself so
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ old building ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਤੱਕ ਆਪਾਂ ਰੱਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ how long can we keep it
depends man doesn't it on the structure
I used to work at Birmingham Museum and I went there and I see how they do the conservation so anything that is old I mean they even had mummies there and they had like old ornaments and you know and what they would do is they would be very careful with them if they needed repairing they would use the same type of materials and you know
not only on the building for repair but in this country if you wanted to get planning permission to build a building one of the things that the planners will look at is how does this complement the existing building
exactly
you can't
just put any
structure there
I mean it doesn't look right I mean there's you know you can do degrees in planning
you have to have the right materials
exactly because it's all to do with the way that place looks that space looks you know, this land economy is just as important as you know the money economy
exactly.
you know, it's really important to look at the way that all fits together and the history that shows
so the company I work for currently they've done a lot of work on listed buildings like you know old palaces and things like in the UK and I mean they're that strict you cannot even put light fittings on the walls so we had to find different ways of lighting those buildings you have to find different solutions for putting in modern amenities into traditional buildings you have to come up with innovative ideas
and they'll rather ਇੱਥੇ ਇੰਨਾ strict ਆ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕੀ ਪੁਰਾਣੀਆਂ ਇਮਾਰਤਾਂ ਨਾ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਖਾਲੀ ਹੋਣ derelict ਹੋਣ they rather leave them derelict
they just leave them as they are
because they know the importance attached to heritage is such an immense kind of value basically and I think we've forgotten that over the years
ਚਲੋ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ we're going to move on time ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ in about 10-15 ਮਿੰਟਾਂ ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਲਸ ਵੀ ਖੋਲੂਗੇ ਪਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਵੀ ਮਨਜੀਤ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਕਈ ਨਵੇਂ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੀਜ਼ਰਵ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਔਰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਤਰਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਪਾਸੇ is quite an innovator actually and Taran, I know that you know we had lots of exhibitions and you've done some really amazing work with the jewellery. Just tell us a bit about that. And I think upon pictures we last have number 2 image,
basically the problem that we have with a lot of Sikh artifacts, so we've lost a lot of stuff because of partition, obviously the British coming in and taking a lot of stuff.
Exactly,
you know, and so we've lost so many things, and I've always been thinking about how can we preserve this heritage without actually having the physical objects. And so I work with 3D technology, so traditional CAD software that people use for architecture and visualization.
Is that virtual reality, or is that different?
Yeah. It basically virtual reality is basically the next step to the 3D modeling. So what we can do is, if we've got the object, we can 3D scan it. If we've got photographs, then we can artistically model that object.
So what's the difference between the 3D and the one you're talking about now, the next stage?
Obviously with a 3D scan you need the object there. Now we've got a problem where we don't have access to a lot of the objects, so what we do is we look at photographs, we look at drawings, and what we'll do is we will artistically model and sculpt those objects.
So actually image at the screen there, if I can ask the team to just flash those images. This is an example of some of the work that you've been doing.
Definitely, now some of these things are really expensive to insure, so we can't get them down, or they're in private collections, so they can't be shown. But what we can do,
I know that you did the one of the Kohinoor as well, didn't you?
That's correct, but we put it in its original context and original form, because what happens is, this is another thing that we're looking at, is that when we look at objects, are we looking at them in the right context? We look at it in the museum in a case, but was it meant to be...
Let's get into what is context important, because there's one thing seeing something in the glass cabinet, there's another thing actually seeing it as it was supposed to be worn.
Yeah, I think the amazing thing with this technology that I've had a bit of chance to play around with is that you can really get a feel for what it felt like at that time.
Oh, wow.
And that's, it's amazing. I mean, I got to play with the earrings that were designed from Princess Sophia's collection that she actually sold off to fund part of the suffragette movement. And they came from Maharani Jind Kaur, which, they were amazing. I think the first thing I said to Gurinder was, can you print me a pair? They're amazing, and just seeing them in real, because as they're in a private collection, it's not something that we have access to.
Well, you mentioned printing. We'll come to the printing in a minute. We've just got a call. We'll take this call, then we'll go to the 3D printing. Waheguru ji ka khalsa, Waheguru ji ki fateh. Hello ji.
हेलो वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह।
स्वागत है भाई साहब, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਨਾਮ ਦੱਸੋ ਤਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਾਲ?
ਮੈਂ ਜੀ ਗੁਰਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਭਾ ਹੌਸਲੋ।
ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਗੁਰਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਹਾਂਜੀ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਆ ਗਏ ਵਾਪਸ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਤੇ?
ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਤਰਨਤਾਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਾਨਦਾਰ ਵਿਰਾਸਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਢਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਦੀ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਨਿਖੇਧੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਜੀ ਜੀ। ਔਰ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਜੋ ਹੈ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਸਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੇ ਬੜਾ ਇੰਟੈਲੈਕਚੁਅਲ ਪੱਧਰ ਤੇ ਸਿਰੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਜੀ ਜੀ। ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਬਾਬੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਨਪੜ੍ਹ ਨੇ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਜੀ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਦੋਸ਼ੀ ਨੇ, ਸ਼੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦੋਸ਼ੀ ਹੈ, ਉੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਮੂਹਿਕ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਸਿਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਲੈਣੀ ਪਏਗੀ।
ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਦੋਸ਼ੀ ਹਾਂ ਗੁਰਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਕਾਫੀ ਹੱਦ ਤੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਦੋਸ਼ੀ ਹਾਂ। ਬਿਲਕੁਲ,
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਦੇਖੋ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਪੈਸਾ ਦੇਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੇ ਪਾਵਰਫੁਲ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਅਕਲੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ
ਅਕਲੀ ਕੀਜੇ ਦਾਨ,
ਅਕਲੀ ਕੀਜੇ ਦਾਨ ਜੀ। ਬਿਲਕੁਲ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਗਏ ਔਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਇਹੀ ਕਾਰਨ।
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਗੁਰਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੱਚ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਔਰ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Just pick that thing up, I mean, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ money corrupts. Do you think that this ਕਾਫੀ ਹੱਦ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੰਨ੍ਹੇਵਾਹ ਪੈਸਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਬਾਬੇ they smell the money and then it's a bit like cowboy builders who might do stuff that you don't need doing because it's extra money for them.
देखो, so he's put the point right. Again, it's like I said at the start of the program, this has been going on for decades. If it's been going on for decades, then it must be something in there for people to be doing this. So yes,
and we know that in Punjab these kind of mafias, land mafia, rate mafia, people and build transport mafia, it's almost as if these babas operate like a kind of a Kal Seva mafia.
Well, it's like I said, it's more than one instance. This has been happening for decades. It happens all the time, and and I think this instance here of the Darshan Deori has actually been a very important flashpoint, because for the first time, I think there's been worldwide outrage for this Darshan.
So this could be a seminal moment.
I think so. I think so.
Can we come back to the?
Can I just quickly just say on that point? Basically that you're right. We are responsible as well. Because if we blindly just giving money, right, then that's not good. But I can say that some of the people from UK who've been going to do Car Seva work, and they've been, whenever they come down, they show us photographs of exactly what they're doing, exactly what they're planning.
So they've got the proof there.
And what is, I don't give money for Gurdwaras because I don't believe in buildings.
Exactly.
But the thing is, when they came down, they showed me exactly what they were going to do, what their plan was, and then I said, okay, I'm willing to donate to that because you're being transparent.
Definitely. Proper evidence.
Check what they're going to do.
We've got another call, important call, and then we'll come to the models as well. But it feels like this is a really big issue. Hanji, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੰਧਾਲਵੀ ਬੋਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ
ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕੰਧਾਲਵੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਾਰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਰੇਜ਼ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਦੇਖੋ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕਨਸਪੀਰੇਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਲੇਟੈਸਟ ਹੋਇਆ ਕੰਧਾਲਵੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦੇਣਾ
ਕੰਧਾਲਵੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਸੀ ਰੋਕੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ
ਤੇ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਰੋਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਕਾਸ਼ ਕਿ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਾਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਰਹੰਦੀ ਦੀਵਾਰ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਢਹਿੰਦੀ ਬੁਰਜ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਢਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਚਮਕੌਰ ਦੀ ਗੜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਨਾ
ਆਉਂਦੀ ਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਤਖਤ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਢਹਿੰਦਾ ਜੇ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਦੋਂ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਸਹੀ ਆ ਬਾਕੀ ਇਹਦੀਆਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਵੀਆਂ ਡਾਇਮੈਂਸ਼ਨਸ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਤੰਬਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੋਕ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਣ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਢਾਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਇਤਰਾਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਤਰਨਤਾਰਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੇ
ਜੀ
ਪਰ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈਲ ਬੈਂਟ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਢਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਮਤਾ ਹੋਰ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਡਿਫਰ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ ਇਹ ਸ਼ੈਤਾਨੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਕੀਤੀ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਚਿੱਠੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਜਗਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤੀ
ਅੱਛਾ
ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਬਾਬੇ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਕਹਿਤਾ ਕਿ ਤੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਢਾਵੇਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਰੌਲਾ ਰੱਪਾ ਪੈ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਢਹਿ ਜਾਊਗੀ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਇੰਪਲੋਈ ਦੀ ਗਲਤੀ ਹੈ ਇੰਪਲੋਈ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਸਾਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦੋਸ਼ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਵੱਢ ਦਿਆਂਗੇ
ਸੋ ਮਿਲੀ ਭੁਗਤੀ ਸਾਜ਼ਿਸ਼ ਸੀਗੀ ਮਿਲੀ
ਭੁਗਤਣਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਡਾਇਮੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਅੱਜ ਹੋਰ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਸ਼੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਨੇ ਬਰਤਾਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ SGPC ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਕੋਲੋਂ 2 ਕਰੋੜ ਰੁਪਈਆ ਬੀਬੀ ਜਗੀਰ ਕੌਰ ਦੀ ਫੰਡਿੰਗ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ
ਅੱਛਾ ਜੀ
ਤੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸ਼੍ਰੋਮਣੀ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਰੌਲਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ
ਚਲੋ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕੱਲ ਆਉਗੀ ਹੁਣ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਣਾ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਉਣਗੀਆਂ ਕੰਧਾਲਵੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ
ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ
let's just go on to the 3D model so tell us a bit about what is this all about and maybe this was your first one wasn't it the bronze
that's
just tell us about the 3D printing and the modelling and then tell us about this image
so when I think about heritage I think that we tend to kind of look back a lot and I think that what we need to start doing is look forward and see how we're going to start preserving our heritage and so I'm looking at new technologies and using kind of new technologies to maybe recreate and reproduce and maybe reinvigorate the interest in our heritage.
So who are we looking at now?
So this is by Garja Singh, one part of the team of by Garja Singh, Bota Singh, who in 1740.
ये दो सिंघां ने खालसा राज किया
So 1740s, when the Sikhs were living in the jungles and struggling, you know, they didn't even have clothes on their back, and you know, and they basically when they were seen by people at checkpoint.
This is really important because you know ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ but at this time ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਸੀ 1000 2000 ਘੋੜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕਾਠੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ there were a very few number but ਫਿਰ ਵੀ you know they stood there and they challenged the hukumat.
देखो Mughals, Afghans, Banda Bahadur's time. We have lost and forgotten about all these key figures in our time. The Sikh missiles, you know, we're talking about Jassa Singh Ahluwalia, Jassa Singh Ramgarhia, Baba Baghel Singh, which we'll touch on shortly. All these key figures, if they were not around, we would not be around.
ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਰੰਬੋ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟਰਮੀਨੇਟਰ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ
these should be your role models.
These people leave them way behind. I mean they had basic weaponry and they were fighting the Mughal Hukumat was a very powerful, I mean
very, very strong, powerful Raj of the Mughals, and yet the Sikhs, through techniques of hitting and encountering the enemy, they actually employed so much kind of a strategy to actually take
And they
the
were
Khan
masters
to,
in guerrilla warfare. I mean, that was one of, I mean, I've read the history, and this is, the Sikhs perfected guerrilla warfare.
the concept was called Dai Part. It's
Yeah.
called 2.5 strikes.
Yeah.
So it's a case of like hitting them, coming back, hitting them, and coming back. This was the castle strategy of the Sikh missiles, and that's why we were so successful. But look how nicely Taran Singh has actually
Now this is
created.
Fauja Singh.
Ji.
So tell us
Taran,
about
tell us about
Fauja
Fauja
So by
Singh.
Fauja Singh, 1978, Amritsar, where you had this big, massive movement against minorities in India, like you're having at the moment with
I
the
love his
RSS in India.
posture.
Yeah,
It's amazing for
I mean,
Dhaka, yeah.
I think the idea
Very
with
strong
these,
posture.
the idea with these statues is to try and kind of young people, like when I was growing up, I looked at stuff that I was watching, like Baji said, like
Yeah.
Rambo, and we were looking at
Obviously in those times it was like that.
Thundercats and things like that. Yeah, but the thing is, we've got heroes in our past, and I think that
Exactly.
we don't see them like in it. And I think it's very important that when we make statues, public statues, they become a part of that community, part of our.
Darren, I've always
history.
said, like, if you take something like Bandar Singh Bahadur, he was a peasant revolutionary leader. He makes Che Guevara sound like nothing. Yeah, I knew about Che Guevara. I never knew about Bandar Singh Bahadur until I actually dug into the history books as well.
Definitely.
So, and then, of course, women.
Yeah.
We have to.
Got one amazing.
Because again, we've talked about men's history, but we've erased women. And here's an example of female warriors. I mean,
That's
Joan of Arc. We talk
amazing.
about Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
And we've got our own Joans of
So
Arc.
tell us about this,
So
Taran.
this is like just my like artistic interpretation of like a
Is this my
Sikh
Baghel?
female.
Looks like my
it's
Baghel.
not my Baghel. It's actually Bibi Hasharankur who did
Wow,
who did the
looks amazing.
sanskar of the shortest. The oldest Sahibzade who
You know
died in
my
battle.
Baghel? I don't know if you know Gurinder, but my Baghel was a master in the long staff
Yeah.
Barsha.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So when she fought alongside the Charlie Mukte, it is said that she killed literally tens and tens of enemy. And when she fell in battle, and it was said that they couldn't find her. And then they saw this pile of dead bodies, and they thought this is just a pile. And when they went in there, she was actually unconscious in the middle of this pile of dead bodies that were kind of like piled around her. So she'd obviously been defending to the last minute. It was amazing.
This is the key point. We need to bring these stories out more and more and
more
more.
often.
Okay,
Yeah.
we keep talking about, say, my Baghel, but I think Kiran has nicely said there's hundreds of figures we should be
of
talking
course
about.
there are,
It's not
yes.
about the one figure, it's about several hundred figures, really. And we need to go back
We
in
need
history.
to talk more about this.
Absolutely,
That's why.
absolutely.
Well, I mean, this is an interesting discussion about how do we represent the female figure in Sikh history, because on the one hand we talk about the qualities of care and love and the kind of and the female represents that, but also we have this other story of leadership, of fighting in battle, which is often
When we talk about quality.
So how do we keep this balance?
I feel like that there's always an emphasis to want to categorize males and females into this box, but when the Guru spoke about Sikhs, they didn't speak about male Sikh or female Sikh. They just spoke about what a Sikh
you were at
should
the
be.
Oxford conference when there was a presentation on Sundari.
Yeah.
This is an excellent example as to how she goes from masculine to feminine, well, from feminine to masculine, almost back to feminine as well.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just as important for males to embody a feminine role as it is for females to embody what would be a stereotypical masculine role. You know, we should be raised to take on all of these skills, because you come into this world alone. You need to be able to fight
do
this world
we
alone.
have gender divisions in Sikhi? I mean, obviously we have different biological functions, but in terms of roles, we don't really have this. Women can play the role. I mean, they become warriors. They can be everything.
No, definitely.
They can be what they want to.
I think that's the wonderful thing about our history. When you look back and you see these like amazing women who kind of sacrificed, toe to toe with their brothers and fathers, and and I think that we shouldn't forget that. And the reason that I kind of especially did a female Sikh warrior as well is because, like, when I did the other two, a lot of young girls were saying to me, "Oh, when will you do? Like, when are you going to do like a female warrior?" And I thought, you know what? And it is inspirational to kind of see those figures and learn about them and tell their stories.
ਸੋ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਦਸੀਏ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿਰਨ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ it was your father, Kiran, that used to tell you, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸਣਾ, ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਪ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਨਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਜਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਣੀ ਜਿੰਦਾ ਕੌਰ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਥੀਸਿਸ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀ। ਔਰ ਗੁਰਿੰਦਰ, ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਨਰਲ ਸੀ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਬਘੇਲ ਸਿੰਘ, ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਇਲਾਕਾ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ 30,000 ਹੀ
ਠੀਕ
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਾਂ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਿਆ ਇਲਾਕੇ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਹੈ
ਜੀ
ਪਰ this is part of our heritage
ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਮਾਜਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕਰਦਾ let me explain this in detail basically ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜਾ ਰਣਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ we knew what his conquests were about the Sikh missile period we don't know as much about okay I mentioned ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ Jassa Singh Ahluwalia Jassa Singh Ramgarhia Baba Baghel Singh always gets missed out because his didn't have much of a lineage afterwards because the Ahluwalia clan
they were part of this family
Ahluwalia clan still have descendants from there the Ramgarhia clan still have descendants the Guru Singha missile whilst they've got descendants there was no direct descendants of Baba Baghel Singh technically so what has happened is in 1783 over 30 to 60,000 Khalsa approached Delhi okay March 1783 they approached Delhi
so they're on horses are they on elephant I mean is
everything
full kind of
the full squad is there in terms of Khalsa Sikh female figures are there as well and that's another story because it's a very important one but what's happened is on 1783 is that the Khalsa Kera Pata on a Red Fort Lal Killa Kera Pata
you know Delhi Fateh Diwas bhi aapa kehne haange
and I'll come on to that in a second so for me it was really important to bring this out into Sikh history or more common history as well because when we talk about Punjab we only talk about the area of the Satluj and then when the treaty was taking place with the British the Punjab was split but under the time of Baba Baghel Singh and the Sikh missiles we're not talking about the river Jamna we're talking about conquering all the way up to the river Ganges
well let me just get the sequence right because they come into Delhi the Mughal emperor is in in the Red Fort that was his base and then when they went to the Tees Hazari was that like a staging post and then from there they went to the Red Fort
there was different vantage points Tees Hazari is where he was Baghel Singh was stationed
because man that's not Tees Hazari ਆਪਾਂ 30,000 ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ और ये तो पता लगा भी there were 30,000 horsemen at least there not counting everything else could you imagine what the scene I mean could you imagine if you could create that kind of scene there
it would be
breathtaking
it's just unbelievable
but let me just tell you recount that story so they actually enter outside the walls of Delhi so and they break through the barriers with ease there's hardly any fighting they get in there
is that because by then the Mughal empire is now waning it's weak there's lots of internal divisions and so it wasn't I mean these people were tacticians as well you know Baghel Singh and you know Singh Ahluwalia and so that was a good moment to go or was it genuinely that they had such a great reputation that the kind of resistance just kind of collapsed?
It was a combination of both. The Mughal Empire was on the wane, was actually deteriorating. However, at the same time, like I mentioned, they were doing raids all across India, all the way to the east, like I said, all the way up to the the River Ganges. So therefore, it was really important that they actually struck at the heart of Delhi at that particular time. So as you can see, if we can bring up the image, next image onto the screen for us. So this image that they're going to show is the title from my new book called The British and the Sikhs.
Right.
I could have chosen any sequence or any photograph or any kind of depiction in Sikh history to do with the British and the Sikhs. But I chose Baba Baghel Singh intentionally because in 1783, when not only did he start conquering Delhi, the British were worried. Because they wanted to conquer Delhi. So automatically...
Because the British by now had got a foothold in the south.
That's correct,
Kolkata and places like that.
So they'd already been kind of taking over all these strangleholds all over India. But once they found out the Sikhs had actually taken over Delhi, they were astounded.
It was never I mean, we've never actually made that connection, have we?
No.
We always see it from a Sikh perspective. We never see it from the British perspective.
Oh, definitely, there's also Banda Singh Bahadur's Shahidi as well. There were British people there at that time.
Well, there's actually documented accounts.
Definitely, there's a letter they sent back about it.
So we've got 5 minutes to go, Gurinder. I know there's lots of other projects and things. So just give us I mean, how's the Sikh Museum project developing?
Yes, so basically we started something called the Anglo Sikh Museum project last year. The idea being working with Taran and working with the rest of our team is to actually recreate objects that we've been to museums to digitize. So we're quarter way through the process already. The jewelry that we showed of Sophia Dalip Singh, they're all going to appear in this online, the world's first online Sikh museum. So we are going to have a website coming up soon in the next month or so, and they will be able to see these objects on the actual website. But to take it one step further, Taran, you maybe could talk a little bit about the virtual reality aspect of it
definitely.
as well.
So once we've got the 3D assets, what we can then do is put them into virtual reality. So you can use headsets, you can use mixed reality headsets, and you can also use Google Cardboards or on your mobile phones as well. So the idea is to let everyone kind of see these objects, spin them around interactively, and kind of be able to kind of the next best thing to kind of holding it in your own hands. So that's the kind of idea of the virtual museum.
Kiran, I mean, we are coming to.
Yeah, Kiran, just thinking about young girls like yourself, why don't they ever get involved in Sikh history?
How can we
why is that? What's the reason behind it?
I think a lot of it comes from like a young age and accessibility. I think it depends where you are, a lot of it. So regionally we're getting better. So I think growing up in the north, there wasn't a huge amount going on there that was really targeted to young people. There was like Sikhi camps and things, but they weren't really wide ranging, let's say. Not when I was growing up anyway, in the late 90s. But I think they're improving now. But like, for example, when I went to university in London, that's where I really started learning about Sikhi more academically. I got involved with the Sikh Education Council, and they teach a course which I think is amazing. You know, that's where I learned.
Is it because you were away from home, or was you away from home? Or?
Yeah. So I mean, I'd moved away, and I was looking for a way to reconnect with Sikhi, you know, in a more academic setting. And
though that's a really good point.
That's really
actually,
good,
a lot of young Sikhs, it's when they get to university that they kind of connect with these things, which is brilliant on the Sikh side. But I'm going to say something that might be a bit controversial here. We haven't got a lot of time. I think one of the problems is that when we present Sikhi to general Sikh Punjabi population, we almost suggest that the only point of getting involved in Sikh is that if you end up as Namratari Sikh,
yeah.
And now that's a wonderful place to end.
It is.
But I think that we need to realise that, you know, we have lots of diversity and
we need to look beyond.
Well, different people coming to Sikhi in different ways for different reasons. And the thing we shouldn't be doing is making somebody feel guilty if they're engaged in Sikhi, but maybe they're not Amritdhari. Is that right?
I completely agree with that. Even in the Guru's time, you had people who were involved in different capacities. Guru Gobind Singh Ji's time, people who were involved in battle, different capacities, Muslims, Sufis. You had even ascetics who were fighting alongside him. So I think even now we need to have that open-mindedness that the Gurus had.
Exactly.
And be inclusive. And everyone's got a contribution to give. And it's up to them. The Guru never said, oh, you must do this. They said, look, this is a choice that you have, like, in it. And, and everyone kind of does whatever they can.
Gurinder, I mean, we've only got a minute to go now. No, but even in the Guru's court, you know, there were all kinds of, I mean, by Nandalal Ji, you know, all kinds of
really important point to just quickly touch on is that the fact of the Guru's Kavis, the Guru's poets. They were from all different traditions, different denominations. They wrote on different types of philosophy, history.
And you've written about this
I've written about it extensively. So it just shows you the Khalsa Sikhi is a worldwide view.
Exactly.
We should always be looking at a worldwide view and not an insular view. And I think this ties back to this insular view of the Kaur Seva Babas, which we kind of discussed at the start.
There you are. I want to thank our panel. Thank you very much. You've given so much knowledge to everyone, our viewers. I'm sure they must be pleased today to hear your knowledge.
बिल्कुल जी ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਸਿਰਫ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਭ ਸਕ੍ਰੈਚ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਆ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੌਮ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੋ ਸਾਡਾ ਵਿਰਸਾ ਖਰਾਬ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਵੀ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਰਲਡ ਵਾਈਡ ਯੂਥ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਐਜੂਕੇਟਿਡ ਯੂਥ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਜਾਗਤ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਕੌਮ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੀਏ there's nothing that we can't achieve ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਵੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਈਏ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਮਿਸਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੇੜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰੀ ਕੌਮ ਇਕੱਠੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡਾ ਵਿਰਸਾ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੌਮ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਖਸ਼ੇਗਾ ਸੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਭੁੱਲ ਚੁੱਕ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਗੱਜਬਾਜੀ ਕੇ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਓ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ